One of the most famous landmarks in the United Kingdom, Stonehenge is regarded as a British cultural icon. It has been a legally protected, scheduled ancient monument since 1882, when legislation to protect historic monuments was first successfully introduced in Britain. The site and its surroundings were added to UNESCO's list of World Heritage Sites in 1986. Stonehenge is owned by the Crown and managed by English Heritage. The surrounding land is owned by the National Trust. Stonehenge could have been a burial ground from its earliest beginnings. Deposits containing human bone date from as early as 3000 BC, when the ditch and bank were first dug, and continued for at least another 500 years. When Stonehenge was first opened to the public, it was possible to walk among and even climb on the stones, but the stones were roped off in 1977 as a result of serious erosion. Visitors are no longer permitted to touch the stones but are able to walk around the monument from a short distance away. English Heritage does, however, permit access during the summer and winter solstice, and in the spring and autumn equinox. Additionally, visitors can make special bookings to access the stones throughout the year. Local residents are still entitled to free admission to Stonehenge because of an agreement concerning the moving of a right-of-way. The access situation and the proximity of the two roads have drawn widespread criticism, highlighted by a 2006 National Geographic survey and the survey of conditions at 94 leading World Heritage Sites. 400 conservation and tourism experts rank Stonehenge 75th in the list of destinations, declaring it to be in moderate trouble. As motorized traffic increased, the setting of the monument began to be affected by the proximity of the two roads on either side. The A3400 to the Shroton on the north side and the A303 to the Winterbourne Stock to the south. Plans to upgrade the A303 and close the A344 to restore the vista from the stones have been considered since the monument became a World Heritage Site. However, the controversy surrounding expensive rerouting of the roads has led to the scheme being cancelled on multiple occasions. On November 6, 2007, it was announced that extensive plans to build Stonehenge Road Tunnel under the landscape and create a permanent visitor center has been cancelled. On May 13, 2009, the government gave approval for a £25 million scheme to create a smaller visitor center and close the A344. Although this was dependent on funding and local authority planning consent. On January 20, 2010, Wiltshire Council granted planning permission for a center 1.5 miles to the west, and English Heritage confirmed that funds to build it would be available, supported by a £10 million grant from the Heritage Lottery Fund. On June 23, 2013, the A344 was closed to begin the work of removing the section of road and replacing it with grass. The center, designed by Denton Corker Marshall, opened to the public on December 18, 2013. DNA extracted from Neolithic human remains across Britain determined that the ancestors of the people who built Stonehenge were farmers who came from the eastern Mediterranean, traveling west from there. DNA studies indicate that they had a predominantly Aegean ancestry, although their agricultural techniques seem to have come originally from Anatolia. These Aegean farmers then moved to Iberia before heading north, reaching Britain in about 4000 BC. These Neolithic migrants to Britain also may have introduced the tradition of building monuments using large megaliths, and Stonehenge was part of this tradition. At the time, Britain was inhabited by groups of Western hunter-gatherers, similar to the Cheddar Man, when the farmers arrived. DNA studies show that these two groups did not seem to mix much. Instead, there was a substantial population replacement. The Bell Beaker people arrived later, around 2500 BC, migrating from mainland Europe. The earliest British bakers were similar to those from the Rhine. There was again a large population replacement in Britain. The Bill bakers also left their impact on Stonehenge construction. They are also associated with the Wessex culture. The latter appears to have had wide-ranging trade links with continental Europe, going as far as Mycenaean Greece. The wealth from such trade probably permitted the Wessex people to construct the second and third megalithic phases of Stonehenge, and also indicates a powerful form of social organization. The bill bakers were also associated with the tin trade, which was Britain's only unique export at the time. Tin was important because it was used to turn copper into bronze, and the bakers derived much wealth from this. There is little or no direct evidence revealing the construction techniques used by the Stonehenge builders. Over the years, various authors have suggested that supernatural or anachronistic methods were used, usually asserting that the stones were impossible to move, otherwise due to their massive size. However, conventional techniques using Neolithic technology as basic as shear legs have been demonstrably effective at moving and placing stones of a similar size. The most common theory of how prehistoric people moved megaliths has them creating a track of logs which the large stones were rolled along. Another megalith transport theory involves the use of a type of sleigh running on a truck greased with animal fat. Such an experiment with a sleigh carrying a 40-ton slab of stone was successfully conducted near Stonehenge in 1995. A team of more than 100 workers managed to push and pull the slab along the 18-mile journey from the Marlborough Downs. Proposed functions of the site include usage as an astronomical observatory or as a religious site. More recently, two major new theories have been proposed. Geoffrey Wainwright, president of the Society of Antiquities of London, and Timothy Darby of Bournemouth University have suggested that Stonehenge was a place of healing, the primeval equivalent of Lourdes. They argue that this accounts for the high number of burials in the area and for the evidence of trauma deformity in some of the graves. However, they do concede that the site was probably multifunctional and used for ancestor worship as well. Isotope analysis indicates that some of the buried individuals were from other regions. A teenage boy buried approximately 1550 BC was raised near the Mediterranean Sea. A metal worker from 2300 BC, dubbed the Amisbury Archer, grew up near the Alpine foothills of Germany, and the Boscombe bowman probably arrived from Wales or Brittany, France. On the other hand, Mike Parker Person of Sheffield University has suggested that Stonehenge was part of a ritual landscape and was joined to Darrington walls by their corresponding avenues and the river Avon. He suggests that the areas around Darrington walls Henge was a place of the living, while Stonehenge was a domain of the dead. A journey along the Avon to reach Stonehenge was part of a ritual passage from life to death to celebrate past ancestors and the recently deceased. Both explanations were first mooted in the 12th century by Geoffrey of Monmouth, who extolled the curative properties of the stones and was also the first to advance the ideas that Stonehenge was constructed as a funerary monument. Whatever religious, mystical, or spiritual elements were central to Stonehenge, its design includes a celestial observatory function, which might have allowed prediction of eclipse, solstice, equinox, and other celestial events important to a contemporary religion. As I pause here, I hope you enjoy our ride. Don't forget to watch my next episode and please hit the red subscribe button below for it means so much for me. Until next time, thank you so much.